It is 22 hours 30, Universal Time. I'm Jim Tedder in Washington. The United States Supreme Court has ruled against the Bush administration in a case brought by a prisoner at the American prison at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. The High Court said President Bush had acted beyond his powers as president by creating special judicial bodies to try terrorism suspects. The administration's special tribunals operate outside both American civil law and military law. The case involves Salim Ahmed Hamdan, a former guard and driver of terrorist leader Osama bin Laden. The court said American law and the International Geneva Conventions must be observed in the suspect's trial. President Bush says there may be a way to work with Congress to make the special military tribunals possible. Israeli officials say they have delayed an invasion of the northern Gaza Strip. The planned invasion is meant to rescue a captured Israeli soldier. The officials say Egypt requested the delay. Egypt has been working to gain the soldier's release. Earlier Thursday, Israel arrested more than 60 members of the Palestinian ruling party Hamas. Those arrested include 7 ministers. Israel says it holds the Hamas government responsible for the kidnapping of the Israeli soldier on Sunday. Israeli media says the arrested Palestinians might be exchanged for the captured soldier. Israel has carried out several air attacks in Gaza since the kidnapping. Iraqi police in Kirkuk say a bomb attack has killed 4 people at a funeral ceremony for a Shiite Muslim soldier. About 25 other people were wounded. Also Thursday, the Prime Minister and President of Romania publicly disagreed about a proposal to withdraw the Romanian troops from Iraq. Romania has almost 900 troops in Iraq. The Romanian Prime Minister called for a troop withdrawal because of the human and financial costs of the deployment. The Romanian President said the idea was unacceptable. Iran has answered a statement by the foreign ministers from the Group of 8 industrialized nations. At a meeting in Moscow, the foreign ministers called on Iran to declare if it will take part in nuclear talks. The foreign ministers said they were dissatisfied that Iran had not officially answered proposals for talks on its nuclear programs. A short time later, Iranian Foreign Minister Manucher Motaki said Iran would officially answer the proposals in August. The Group of 8 ministers also called on Israel and the Palestinians to take all necessary measures to end the continuing violence in the Gaza Strip. Leaders from the Group of 8 nations plan to meet again on July 15th in Russia. Voting stations have closed in Kuwait. Early reports say many people voted. The elections included women voters and women candidates. This is the first parliamentary election since women were given the right to vote last year. Men and women used separate voting stations. Experts say this has been one of the most intense election campaigns in Kuwait's history. 57% of Kuwaiti voters are women. Reformist candidates are hoping to win enough seats to launch a campaign to end official wrongdoing. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. President Bush has warned North Korea not to test a long-distance missile. He spoke after meeting with Japanese Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi at the White House. Mr. Bush said he and Mr. Koizumi agreed to remain united in sending a clear message to North Korea. Some intelligence reports suggest that North Korea may be preparing to launch a long-distance missile. Mr. Bush says North Korean leader Kim Jong-il has not provided information on the missile program. Mr. Bush also said he and Mr. Koizumi discussed the six-party talks aimed at ending North Korea's nuclear program. Pakistan has reacted strongly to a call by American Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice for free elections in Pakistan next year. Ms. Rice spoke in Islamabad Tuesday. The Pakistani Foreign Ministry said late Wednesday that Ms. Rice did not discuss the issue with Pakistani President Pervez Musharraf. The two held talks on Tuesday. Supporters of General Musharraf control the Parliament of Pakistan. His term as president ends next year. The country's new constitution calls for the Parliament to elect the next president. Islamic courts that control much of southern Somalia are claiming power over the whole country. A leader of the courts made the announcement to reporters in the Somali capital, Mogadishu. Sheikh Sharif Ahmed said the court's ruling committee will now be known as the Supreme Islamic Council of Somalia. Mr. Ahmed said Sheikh Hassan Dahir Awais has replaced him as the court's top leader. The temporary government of Somalia has objected to the announcement. The information minister said the Islamic courts are not a national organization. Last week, the temporary government and Islamic courts signed a peace agreement in Sudan. The government is supported by the United Nations. The government of Zimbabwe has blocked the signals from daily news broadcasts of the Voice of America and a South African independent radio station. But VOA Director David Jackson says the blocking seems to be limited to Harare. Mr. Jackson said listeners with shortwave radios and those in other parts of the country can still listen to VOA. Also Thursday, Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe rejected international offers of help with the country's political and economic crises. He said Zimbabwe needs the Western world to see that it is an independent nation. And now, briefly, here again is the major news of the hour. The United States Supreme Court has ruled against the Bush administration in a case involving the United States military prison at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Israeli officials say they have delayed an invasion of the northern Gaza Strip. And Iraqi police say a bomb attack in Kirkuk has killed 4 people at a funeral ceremony for a Shiite Muslim soldier. And that's the news in VOA Special English. Jim Tedder reporting.